Welcome back to Stormy Manor on this rather inclement Tuesday night, I have to say. Heating has been switched off on here to save on costs. Notice it's on nice and early in the morning, so it's warm for little delicate bottoms to come in and perch. Doug once again unable to be with us. Those of you who read the papers will know Doug has been featured a lot there recently. I've got to be careful what I say because the case is still being heard, but hopefully things will work out for him. There's not too much evidence, forensic or otherwise. Maybe there could be some interesting creatures actually in prison if it goes the wrong way. Who knows? I suppose we could actually do a prison special. I suspect Doug being Doug would probably be distracted from his informative and educated commentary on the insects and bugs that no doubt scuttle across his cell floor because he's avoiding the very real prospect of becoming the prison bitch. Nothing focuses the mind, I would imagine, like the perpetual threat of forced buggery. There are, however, gardens in prison. I've seen it on Porridge, although I can't imagine that some of those people you'd be really wanting to arm with a shovel or hoe. Anyway, earlier this morning we had the cameras running. As you know, it's round the clock coverage here at Stormy. Nothing happened. And this is only the 646th consecutive morning that nothing has occurred, which has been on to the people of Guinness about it, to be honest. When we first came here, when we were negotiating the series 20 years ago at Stormy, we were told this was a reserve like no other, and it has indeed proved to be like no other. Certainly like no other wildlife reserve I've ever encountered. I've seen more strange and mysterious and wonderful creatures wandering around in P-Jam's freezer cabinet. You know, I was talking about my predecessor, some of you may remember him, Max Vilmer. Wonderful man, Max. And a very knowledgeable wildlife commentator, sadly locked away now for his own good. Anyway, one of the more lucid moments of the conversation I had with him, he was saying how he once saw a lesser spotted red-breasted hooked-beaked meringue. I have my doubts whether it was actually a meringue he saw, but he was quite insistent. I did remonstrate the point with him, but he eventually had to be restrained by staff, and that was more or less the end of our conversation. So keep your eyes peeled for any lesser spotted, red-breasted, hook-nosed beaked meringues or otherwise. Of course, his assistant, Valerie Mittens, is still missing. I sometimes think she's still with us, still out there on camera. Although she's probably not as photogenic these days. Could probably only get work on Silent Witness or The Bones, or possibly as a judge on The Voice. Anyway, Stormy Manor, steeped in history. Henry II once stayed here when it was a simple cottage before all the extensions were built. He actually got lost on the way to Brittany. Somebody giving him the wrong directions. He never really mentioned this episode too much in his diaries, journals, or in popular papers relating to him, related and translated by historians and scribed by monks. But it is known that he did complain about the continental breakfast. Also, in history as well, just, give you a little bit of background to the area. Guy Fawkes, sometime later, is said to have come here in a precursor to his gunpowder plot, scheming, planning, rubbing his hands together and twirling his moustache, no doubt. But he went away again, having been distracted by ducks. How different history would be if he'd used those ducks as inspiration as opposed to TNT and dynamite. I'm not distracted by ducks. Wish I was.